Hello everybody and welcome back for the Saturday update. We're only down in the dungeon kind of briefly to start things off today because I want to show you just how barren that table is already starting to look. I have already taken out way more peppers than I thought I was going to, but what the heck, I got another 12 months to be ready for this time next year, so if it's bigger than like this, it's going out. We'll look at those in a minute though, but yeah, quick look and then outside like the pepper plants, man. My barren wasteland. A few of these are still headed out, like this one makes the cut for outside. This Shishito makes the cut for outside. This Reaper, on the other hand, too small. The MA Wartrix, far too small. Got this one little Rooster Spur pepper. There's no way I'm putting that thing outside yet. I got a chocolate bootlow over here with a relocated baby ladybug. See what else is staying. We've got this yellow ghost. Was really hoping to get some of those out here this year because they were so productive, but it just didn't happen, right? The Antohi Sweet. Let's see, the Ahi Hab still staying inside. Out of the coffee can peppers, the Ahi Lemon Drop on the right there, and the Paper Lantern Habanero on the left. Those two are going to stay in. As you can see, the Crimson Red is suspiciously absent from our scene here. Although here's another Crimson Red that needs to be heading outside. So I'm just kind of bundling these up to take up with probably one of those little black trays. I'll find one of those soon enough, I'm sure. These tomatoes still gotta wait. I mean, I could take them outside. It's 20 degrees out there right now, which for Canada and Manitoba is a beautiful day. But what's it gonna do tonight, right? Are they gonna be able to handle what it does tonight? So picking, choosing, selecting a few, and just kind of being hopeful with the rest. I guess also of interest down here, that is the branch that broke off of the El Oro pepper. I dipped it in that rooting hormone, stuffed it into that moist soil. It has not had a cap or a cover on it at all yet. It has stayed on the warming mat, and so far that little pepper is well, that's the nicest looking pepper clone after 3 or 4 days that I've had yet. So I am super excited about that. Probably time to start transplanting lemon boys from the squishy tomatoes, but now I know squishy tomatoes are the way to go. Anywho, let's get on outside and take a look at what's growing out there, or starting to anyway. Well, now that we're outside, I guess we'll start with the greatest tragedies. As I mentioned, those shard are definitely, they're not coming back. However, here we've got some 12 different pepper plants that are starting their time outside. We got a few more peppers in there, some sages, some mint. Need to water those up a little bit, but they'll be fine. Up here in the box, the new growth on this sage is looking fantastic. The older stuff is dying off. That is to be expected. I'm not too worried about it. There's rosemary here. I do have some concerns, but there's not a whole lot of brown developing on there, so I think it's going to be okay. Now, as far as all of these kale that are outside of the tray, these are all headed to the great compost pile in the sky. However, most of these look like there's still some hope for them. Not all, but most. So I'm going to try and nurse them back. Obviously, these larger ones, that's the stage where kale is pretty much safe to come out in May. So I need to remember that for last year, build them up nice and strong so I can get them out early. Because they are definitely doing well with the natural sunlight. Much thicker leaves, as you can see, they're much more wrinkled than they were inside. So yeah, to me that looks really good, even though I've lost over half of them. The ones that are there look really good, so feeling positive about that. Then we got another tray of 12 here. These just came out today for the very first time. Gonna have to keep an eye on them. Not all of these were terribly well watered, so I'll be by in an hour or so just to make sure they've got enough moisture to see them through the day. These two coffee can peppers just came out. I did decide to bring out the Crimson Red, hoping that we'll get some nice growth out of these actual pepper pods, but I might just break them off anyway and let it start fresh with the flower buds that are on there. There are plenty of them, so maybe feedback on that. What do you guys think? I did bring out the Sugar Rush Cream It's got quite a few aphids on it, but I'm not too worried about that. I've seen so many of those Asian lady beetles around. I'm sure they'll disappear quite quickly. And then scrolling over here, we've got the El Ecuador. This has been transitioning for a while now. I think it's safe to say that it's going to make it. We do have a few places where there's some sunburn, and that's to be expected. I mean, it was growing under an LED. These leaves were not prepared for this kind of intensity. But I'm going to be honest with you and let you know I was expecting a lot more sunburn than I'm actually dealing with there. So that is exciting. And over here we've got these two coffee can peppers. On the right is the ahi penic. It's been out for a few days as well. Seems to be doing fairly well. I do believe I've got new growth on here. Lots of flowers. And that is definitely forming a little pepper for me. That is definitely forming a little pepper for me. Very exciting, very exciting. And this super chili is, well, it's kind of having a rough time transitioning. I've lost a few leaves from the bottom, again, to be expected, very much to be expected. And it doesn't look like it's quite picking up from its reservoir as fast as perhaps the penic is. So I'm hoping we'll get some root development over the next few days just to help it with that. We're not going to get too much hotter than today over the course of the summer. I mean, if we hit 30, that is an amazing Manitoba day. And today I think the remote temperature sensor said it's 22. So that's about the range of my gardening temperatures. It is what it is. And that brings us to our outdoor garden patches here. I just tried to water these this morning. And as you can see, the only thing really popping up right now is dandelions. I thought I did a better job of weeding it out than that. But most of them are in between the rows, so it won't affect anything too bad when I come through with the little hand claw and pull them out. Really nothing coming up in these two rows of carrots, except for, again, at the end there, I've got another suspicious looking dandelion. And then the radish bed is pretty much the same deal. Now, watering these is a bit of a pain for me because we've just got one little handheld typical watering can, and obviously there's a lot of garden that needs to be watered. My long-term plan is I'd like to get a pump in the well house behind the shop, and I can just use that because it's not treated water. Should all be fine. Worst case scenario, it's got some extra fertilizers that seep down from the field back there, which probably wouldn't be so bad for the lawn or garden, you know what I'm saying? This bunker garden, clearly I still haven't cleaned it out yet. Much to be done there, but the peppers aren't ready to be planted into soil yet anyway, so since that's what I'm going to put in here this year, I'm not really feeling a sense of urgency. I am probably going to raid some soil from that garden bed there though, just to kind of top it up to, well, the top of its sod bunker wall, and hopefully, you know, create a good growing environment for those peppers. We all know I love damn peppers, so waiting is, growing is, gardening's all about waiting, isn't it? And that about wraps it up for what's growing on outside right now. I mean, I don't know if it technically counts as growing outdoors because I'm just kind of slowly beginning to transfer it all out here. Basically, things are staying out until just before the sun goes down or the temperature drops below 10 degrees Celsius. So either one of those is my cue and I start bringing things in. So far I've been putting them on the laundry equipment, but that's not going to work as of today because I've got, well, I've got more plants out here than I have laundry to put them on. So I guess I'll start taking up the mudroom floor. But we should be getting to a point where we're not going to have any overnight freezes again. A couple weeks, I'm hoping. A couple more weeks of this. And then I can start planting these peppers out and they can start staying, you know, permanently in one location and actually getting a good solid grow on. That would be nice. That would be nice. All right, everybody, I'm going to wrap up today's video there. Tomorrow we'll take a look at what's left down in the dungeon, I guess, because we kind of covered the outdoors part of what's growing on. And yeah, we'll take it from there. Yeah, I guess I'll see you guys tomorrow. Take care, everybody.